pay for it, even though it's for the mostly at this point transmission of energy by private corporations over those wires. Now, what's important here is that when they went from this local, independent, small energy production plant arrangement and moved it over time to bigger and bigger conglomerations of private utilities, a key moment is when they opened all of the wires, the electrical grid, to the private companies. The private companies didn't pay to get access to that grid. It was decided by the national government. And this is the big thing about privatization of this stuff. My experience is our tax dollars may have been paying for something for decades. And when it gets privatized, there's no payback into the public till for all of the money that we've all been paying in taxes for decades to maintain something that then just gets taken over by a private company. Now we want them back for a municipal utility. We're going to have to pay the private company to get back the wires that we may have actually originally been the ones that paid for. And this is where it gets very messy, because I worked when we fought the private takeover of our hospital in Metro West. And we fought, and what we got was they actually had to appraise the value of the hospital and put aside money for a fund. Well, it was actually a foundation they created to support public health in the Metro West area, because they were privately getting all of the years of tax dollars that had gone into our community hospitals, building, equipment, et cetera, et cetera. They actually paid something for it. But that was a relatively new thing then. And that would have been in the mid-1980s. So all this stuff that happened between 70 and 85 in lots of different areas of our government, mostly they didn't pay for. So the private companies that came into these different fields essentially got a free ride for all this tax money that we had been paying for decades. And the most recent example of that was the tax on the telegraph poles, which we just got in Massachusetts recently on those assets that private utility companies have had but haven't been paying us taxes on those assets. The reason was because those were publicly created. And so it took a long time for anybody in our state government to figure out that they weren't paying taxes on the stuff that they'd gotten for free that had originally been public assets. And so there's a lot of the story that we get told misses all these pieces that are ways in which essentially we've contributed as taxpayers to benefits that then private companies get to benefit from. And they'll say to us, oh, well, we did all the work, we made the money, but where did those initial assets come from? They came from us. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to eat. Shut up.